Gold Squad TV, back in effect. Gold Squad General in the building. Rainy day. It's been a lot of rainy ones. October and November. It's November 1st, y'all. I'm gonna do a a little bit longer video than I normally do. This is part of pretty much a part of my brand. I want to talk about a lot of basketball, a lot of football, baseball, if it gets to that, boxing, MMA, many different facts. Even do some fun videos for y'all. But this video is about who had the bigger NBA career fail. Let me talk about the criteria. The criteria is a former All-Star or multiple time All-Star that was at one point considered one of the best players in the league during that time, but didn't finish it up on that level when it came to the NBA. Now, what they did overseas, that's different. But we're going to just talk about NBA. So today, we're going to talk between two former teammates, two players that when I was coming up in my late teens and early 20s, paid attention to a lot. I know a lot of you OG cats like myself, OG basketball heads, because now, let's face it, I'm not a youngin' no more. You know what I mean? When I was a youngin' in the late 90s, early 2000s, these two names were names that, let's face it, everybody talked about outside of maybe AI. So we're going to talk about Stephon Marbury or Stevie franchise Francis. Who had their bigger fail? The bigger fall? All right, so we look at Steve Francis, drafted by Houston, actually drafted by Vancouver, which are now the Memphis Grizzlies, but got traded to Houston. His rookie year was 1999. His rookie of the year, two-time All-Star, actually three-time All-Star. Let me just make that correct. Three-time All-Star. His career stats are 18.1 points per game, 42% field goal percentage, 34% three-point shooting from three-point land, basically, 79% from the free throw land, and 5.3 assists. That's career numbers for him. Three-time All-Star. His NBA career kind of came to an end after that last Houston stop. So that was about 2008. Played some years overseas after that. His best season, he played 57 games, 2001-2002 season with the Houston Rockets. 21.6 points per game, 41% free throw shooting, three-point territory 32%, 77% free throw percentage shooting. Excuse me, I'm a little parched. And 6.4 assists a game. Best season. That was in Houston. I believe that was the third or fourth season. Then you got Stephon Marbury. What can we say? Starbury. Stephon Marbury, career stats were 19.3 points per game, 43% from the field, 32% from three-point land, 78% from free throw land, and 7.6 assists. His best season was in Jersey. That was in 2000-2001, 67 games. He played 23.9 points per game, 44% from the field goal percentage, 32%, from three, 79% from the free throw line, and 7.6 assists. Now, my question to y'all is that being that Marbury played till 2009, his last stop was in Boston before he went out to China and won all those titles out there. Who was the more effective player? Who was the player that you felt was more of a star for a longer amount of time? Who was the player that made more of an impact on y'all as kids growing up? The star based on, do you remember signature moves? Do you remember footwork? Do you remember anything that stood out? Maybe a couple dunks. You could say Marbury almost went toe-to-toe with AI for a little bit. When AI was drafted in 96. Marbury was 97. Um, AI was by far the better player, but there was a point in time Marbury was like kind of put in that echelon to that level for a little bit. He just never won anywhere, and he had beef with KG. Then you got Stevie franchise who played with Catino Mobley basically first 3 4 years. Barkley was already out; he was already hurt. It became his team, and they had a couple playoff bursts. But then he got traded to Orlando for Tracy McGrady, and after that, things kind of he put the numbers up still, but wasn't really up to par when it came down to keeping his career right. By the time he got traded to New York, he played with Marbury there. They were both kind of like at the end of their careers, in respect. They were still respectful players and respectable players. Um, but they weren't the same. Stevie franchise wasn't jumping out the gym. He wasn't, those high leg kicks he used to do when he would be dribbling down the court. Um, wasn't the same guy. But who would you say had the bigger fall? Who had the bigger fall, career wise? I mean, at least in the NBA. Not saying these guys are failures because the basic. Let's just be honest. They're professional athletes. You know, listen, I never played basketball on a professional level or even a collegiate level. I was nice when it came down to just being on a court every now and then, but I was never really on the level of those guys, so I can't really sit there and knock them. Like, the NBA, you only got 400 people have jobs in the NBA. I'm not going to sit here and criticize players that on a level like I think I'm better than. I'm obviously not. I think that's pretty obvious. I wouldn't be doing this video if that was the case. Um, but yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Gold Squad General, Gold Squad TV. Had a couple stumbles in this video, but we gonna just let it rock. We gotta learn by experience, Trial by error. Um, Taking notes. I'm not gonna act like I got all this off my head. Taking notes. Salute. Hope you enjoyed the 7 minutes. On to the debate. Peace.